like to throw a curveball to this because we're in this discernment series, right? And all of us are like, I need discernment, I need to learn, I need discernment. What is it? Is God, is this me? Is this you? I need discernment. Is this your will? Is this my will? I need discernment. God, is this real or is this fake? Here's a curveball. Some of us need discernment with yourself. Like, can you discern you? Or have you lost you pretending to be somebody to please them, and now when it's time to really deal with you, you don't even know who you are?
What's good, YouTube? I'm sweating right now because I just got out the gym. I just came on here to talk to y'all about my situation or whatever. For these past few weeks or whatever, I feel like God really just been speaking to me. I also wanted to know for sure that it was his voice. It's a lot of times where I feel like I'm somebody that sometimes like I can overthink or try to know about a situation, exactly how it's gonna go before I start moving. And a lot of times I be trying to discern, like, is it me that's talking or sometimes is it God that's talking? And I really just be stuck in my head sometimes, but I've been mentioning a lot of sermons as far as like the discernment series from Redefine TV. And Jerry Flowers, he was talking about a lot of how to know when it's God's voice and certain things as far as like God. And I feel like I just been growing like ever since I started. Like a lot of times I be in my own way. Like it'll be stuff that God has told me to do, but I'll sit there and procrastinate or not even really go after it. And what I realize is like when you stop going in the will of God, that does nothing but prolong whatever he has for you. So anytime you start, then you start going in the will of God, you getting closer to it. But as soon as you stop, that's when it stops. So a lot of times we be feeling like, or I be feeling like God be talking to me and I be waiting on him to do something when he basically telling me like, nah, you need to get up and go do this, or go invest in this, or start this channel, or start this blog, or whatever it is, start this business. And like I said, for me, a lot of times I be in my head trying to think out why would I do this when this ain't working? One thing I realized about God is God speaking the future. So what he tell you might be for a chapter that's later on in your life. It might not make sense now, but it's gonna be something that's gonna develop you from that time, or for that time when it come. It's gonna be like a season. A lot of times, like in the sermon that I watched with Jerry Flowers, he was talking about a gap, like the gap of a season. So you might be in one season, but once you hit that gap, it'll be a lot of times that I realized what I was in. A lot of times it'll feel like you lonely, or you might be losing friends that you thought you was supposed to be close around, or your family might start looking at you different, or the people that's supposed to be closest to you, you might start kind of drifting away from it. That's when I realized I'm in that gap. It's like from the time that I got in barber school to now, even a little bit before that, when I had a leg surgery or whatever, I realized now that I was in that gap. Like, I lost the opportunity to go play football due to a surgery, and I had been working towards a gift or whatever, or my craft as far as like being a barber, and I ended up just getting in barber school, and I prayed about it for a while because I still had the opportunity to go play football out of surgery, but it just didn't sit right with me trying to go do that when I feel like being a barber or getting into school was something that God was telling me to do. And now that I graduated, I feel that it was like God's way of showing me how to listen to him and follow his voice. And I'm not saying I'm perfect with it or whatever, but I'm getting better. So another thing that's helped me a lot is realizing that God don't expect us to be perfect. If he did, then there wouldn't have been no reason for Jesus to die for us or whatever. He don't expect us to be perfect, but he wants us to be progressing. So when he bring you out of something, don't go back to it. I want to be the example, like, for my family members or the people that surround me or my community. Like, I don't want to be a slave to my sin no more. I don't want to be a slave to decisions that's not right. So I just be asking God to continue to work on me and continue to reveal the things that he need me to do and want me to do. But my thing when it comes to that is I don't want to be doing anything out of my own desire, because it's a lot of things that I want to do as far as like being a business person or just being somebody that's ambitious. And a lot of times I be wanting to procrastinate based off my own decisions or how I see things, when God be telling me start this now. And procrastination, I don't think they come from God. They come from the enemy really kind of seeing that once we start getting closer to God, we start to realize what our purpose is, or we got potential to being what God called us to be, or doing what he wanted us to do to reach certain people. We got to stop procrastinating. We got to start doing the stuff that we need to do. A lot of times when thoughts come, write it down or sketch it out, or like talk to somebody or seek knowledge from the people that you see doing that. If it's somebody that you see doing what you want to do, then get closer to them. Don't try to use that as envy or be jealous. Take notes from them and do what they do. Follow their schedule. Try to see what they do and then put it in your own way. Whatever I do, I want people to see God through me. And if I'm being transparent, it was a time where I kind of wanted to be on the pedestal, but I'm glad that God kind of brought me out of that, or I'm glad that God really brought me out of that, because it's a lot of stuff that I did mentally, or how I was mentally and physically, that he brought me out of, and I can see the growth in my mentality and the way I see things and look at them. If it's anything that I know now, is I know how important it is to be able to know when he's talking to you, and then once you start knowing, the next step is just to be obedient. It might be something that like be off the wall, but that's how God is. Like, you might not even understand it. You might not ever understand it, but it could be something that could bring somebody else out of a situation, and it could be bigger than you. But God always used people and vessels to speak to you, or he'll speak through them. It's what's crazy with social media now. Like, a lot of times you might be scrolling on Instagram or scrolling on TikTok or YouTube, whatever social media platform or whatever that you be on, and you'll like come across something. So say like you reading like a certain thing in the Bible, or you feeling this type of way, and it could be positive or negative, but for me, like, it's been a lot of positive things. So like, I've been binging this series, and it'll be certain things that I feel like God telling me to do, and then boom, it'll be a video of somebody telling them exactly like same scriptures and same teaching and everything of like the same situation that I'm in. Not saying that everybody just like, you should always take their advice or whatever, but a lot of times I feel like that's God just connecting the dots for me. I try to go in a loop and try to find my own way about it, but God will put me in a straight line and be like, so watch this, then do that, go invest in this, or go talk to them, or help them with this, or get to them. It's like, he'll help me know exactly what to do even when I don't know what to do. Even when I don't mentally or physically want to do something, God be helping me be consistent in other areas of my life.